Lisa had developed a passion for visiting antique shops. When she heard that the belongings from an abandoned mansion were going to be auctioned off at a sale on the outskirts of town, she immediately went there. The owner of the mansion was an old man who behaved in a rather strange manner. "If you want to take my belongings, you must know their history," he said in a hoarse voice. Lisa's eyes were drawn to a large mirror that dominated the room. Its frame was decorated with golden engravings, and strange symbols were carved into it. However, the mirror's glass was different from other mirrors. It seemed deep and almost dark. The man noticed Lisa examining the mirror and warned her, "This mirror is not what it seems. Not everyone can bear to see themselves in it." Lisa smiled. "Are you trying to tell me a story? It's just a mirror." The man's face tightened. "All I can say is this: reflections are not always yours. Don't spend too much time in front of the mirror at night." Ignoring the strange warning, Lisa bought the mirror. On her way home, she was overcome with a strange feeling that she didn't want to look at it. It felt as if the mirror was staring into her eyes. After placing the mirror in the living room, Lisa continued with her life as usual. But on the first night, something odd happened. As she passed through the living room, she saw her reflection in the mirror, but for a split second, it didn't move. It felt like she was watching her own face. She blinked, and a few seconds later, her reflection did the same. "I'm just imagining things," she told herself. But the next night, things got even stranger. A silhouette appeared in the mirror. At first, it seemed like a blurry image of her own reflection, but there was a moment when the figure's lips curled into a smile. Lisa gasped. She turned on the lights, but the image in the mirror vanished. That night, she tossed and turned in bed. Before falling asleep, she began to hear whispers coming from the mirror. "You found me." By morning, Lisa decided to remove the mirror. But when she took it off the wall and moved it to her bedroom, a few hours later, she found it back in the living room. At first, she thought someone was playing a prank on her, but she was alone in the house. On the third night, she began to have nightmares, images of a woman trapped in the mirror. The woman was screaming, but no sound came out. The woman's face would transform into Lisa's, and suddenly screams would echo through the room. When she woke up, she realized the mirror wasn't in the living room anymore. She rushed out of bed and looked. The mirror was in the bedroom, right across from her. Lisa was determined to get to the bottom of this. She began researching the mirror online. It was said that the mirror was made by a sorcerer in the 19th century, and that this mirror was a gateway to the other side. According to the legend, anyone who used this mirror would eventually be replaced by their reflection. When Lisa decided to break the mirror, she stood before it, clutching the hammer tightly. A hesitation lingered within her, but the fear she felt outweighed her doubts. As she swung the hammer, the mirror's surface rippled as if it were water, and a muffled scream echoed through the room. However, instead of shattering, the mirror absorbed the hammer. In an instant, the mirror's surface darkened, and Lisa felt as if the room's temperature had dropped. From within the darkness, a hand reached out. This hand, with its decaying skin, gripped Lisa's wrist and tried to pull her into the mirror. Lisa screamed and pulled back, but no matter how hard she tried, the power of the darkness was stronger. With a final effort, she tried to hold on to the ground, but a face appeared from within the mirror. This face was different from Lisa's. It looked at her with empty white eyes and a smile filled with agony. The figure spoke in a muffled and echoing voice. "You resisted even though we called you. Now we must be with you." Lisa's screams filled every corner of the house, but no one could hear her. In an instant, she was pulled into the mirror, and the world went dark. When she opened her eyes, she found herself in a cold mist. She was inside the mirror. She pounded her hands on the glass, seeing her own body outside. But this body was not hers. It was as if something else controlled it. While the mirror showed the image of Lisa in her hopeless tears, the figure stepped out into the outside world. It had taken over Lisa's body. This new Lisa looked towards the other mirrors in the room. In each mirror, Lisa's screaming image was reflected from within. But what was most terrifying was that the mirrors had now become doorways. Lisa realized at that moment, the mirror was not just releasing her, but an army to take over this world. Darkness began to seep out of Lisa's house, and after a while, no reflection was safe for humans anymore. Mirrors came to life one by one. Now people were not just lost in reflections, but in reality itself. The Whispering Walls. Welcome, dear listeners, to another chilling tale from the depths of the unknown. Tonight, we delve into the story of a young couple, Emily and Thomas, who made the fateful decision to purchase an old secluded mansion nestled deep within the English countryside. The mansion, known as Blackwood Manor, had a dark and unsettling history, with rumors of previous owners disappearing without a trace. Despite the warnings from the locals, Emily and Thomas were captivated by the mansion's eerie beauty and its promise of a peaceful retreat. As they settled into their new home, strange occurrences began to unfold. Whispers echoed through the empty hallways, objects moved on their own, and cold spots lingered in the air, sending shivers down their spines. One night, Emily discovered a hidden room behind a bookshelf in the library. Inside, she found a collection of old journals detailing the tragic lives of the mansion's former inhabitants. The journals spoke of a malevolent entity that haunted the walls, feeding on the fear and despair of its victims. Thomas, skeptical at first, dismissed Emily's findings as mere folklore. However, as the paranormal activity intensified, he too began to experience the chilling presence that lurked within the mansion's walls. The whispers grew louder, the shadows danced in the corners of their eyes, and the feeling of being watched became unbearable. Emily and Thomas realized they were trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse with an entity that sought to claim their souls. In a desperate attempt to escape the clutches of the entity, Emily and Thomas decided to confront it head-on. They ventured into the hidden room, armed with the knowledge from the journals and a determination to break free from the mansion's curse. As they entered the room, the whispers reached a deafening crescendo, and the entity revealed itself. A shadowy figure with glowing red eyes, its voice a chilling amalgamation of tormented souls. A fierce battle ensued, with Emily and Thomas using their courage and love for each other as weapons against the entity's dark powers. Just when they thought they were on the verge of defeat, they discovered a hidden passage behind the fireplace, leading to an underground chamber. In the chamber, they found the source of the entity's power, an ancient artifact that had been used to summon it centuries ago. With a surge of adrenaline, they destroyed the artifact, banishing the entity back to the depths from which it came. Exhausted but victorious, Emily and Thomas emerged from the mansion, leaving behind the horrors of Blackwood Manor. As they walked away, they could still hear the faint whispers echoing through the empty halls, a chilling reminder of their brush with the unknown. And so, dear listeners, the tale of the Whispering Walls comes to an end. Remember, some doors are best left unopened, and some whispers are best left unanswered. Until next time, sleep well and beware the shadows that lurk in the corners of your mind.